What would instantly ruin a date for you?
Her 2 kids coming along with no previous mention of them. Plus, about her age by at least 15 years. Oh, and if her mother came too, who spoke no English. Her kids asked me if I was going home with them that evening. Yeah, no way.
Don't worry about using a condom tonight. I'm already pregnant.
True story, actually. She seemed to think it was funny. I didn't.
So, do I get a blowjob tonight?
A friend had this asked on her first date. They had chatted on the phone prior to going out. She got up, paid for her drink, and noped out of there real quick. Edit, this was about 10 minutes after arriving for the date, not like they had already been on the date for hours.
Had something similar. Tinder date. Ended up going back to hers. No fricking or anything. And didn't see each other again. About 3 months later, I see on Facebook, she has announced she's like 10 or 11 weeks pregnant and keeping it. Really felt like I had a brush with really frickin' my life up. My ex-wife was a model. Like an actual paid model. She was the total package. But as I get older, I'm a lot less picky about looks.
Smiles at me like he should receive a gold star for his bravery at being seen in public with me, who is apparently Quasimodo with leprosy and body odor. I had a first date with a guy who only told stories about doing goofy things with his buddies when drunk. They were you-had-to-be-there type stories, but he was talking like they were the most interesting and hilarious stories, and you could tell he thought his stories made him an interesting person. I can talk about pretty much anything. Traveling, politics, music, stupid dad jokes, but I was not interested in reliving the highlight reel of his drunk escapades. I could tell he thought I was boring, because I didn't have any crazy drunk stories to tell. Needless to say, there was no second date.
I've gotten 2 girls pregnant, but it's no big deal because one miscarried and the other had an abortion.
True story. A guy who keeps going on about, you're not like other girls, or most girls are negative quality, but you're positive quality, or you're so funny, smart, whatever for a girl. In the same vein, the guys that tell you, you're so much prettier, smarter, whatever than her. Your friend's random person, my ex. Stop! If you think this is flattering, it's not. I hear this, and my vagina immediately hibernates.
If we had previously discussed over dinner the different homeless ministry work I do, and then later, when we walk by a homeless person, and she says,
Ugh, gross!
Yeah, that about does it, Megan. If we met through an app and they don't look like their pictures.
15 years of internet app dating taught me that men lie about their age and relationship status, and women lie about their weight. Like, seriously? You know we're gonna eventually meet in person, right? WTF.
Racism. I once went on a date with a woman who seemed super charming at first. Then, once a small group of black people walked into the restaurant, she said,
Oh wow, this place is really going downhill if they are letting them in.
It was so out of nowhere that I was just dumbfounded for a minute.
When they bring a +1.
And it's their parole officer.
And they spend lots of time making out.
I met a woman on Match years ago and asked her out. We wound up meeting at a Japanese restaurant. She showed up in such rough shape that it was plainly obvious she had no intention of making any effort. She looked like she just came from a workout session. She was wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt, had no makeup on, and even her hair was a mess. Oh, and she arrived 20 minutes late. I was tempted to walk out right there, but I decided not to. Once we finished eating, I asked the waiter to split the check. She looked absolutely shocked, and my reply was, "You clearly weren't looking at this as a date, so why should I?"
Wake up to food poisoning. I'm talking the kind where you're literally sitting on the toilet exhausted, trash can between your legs, spewing from both ends at the same time. It only ever happened to me once, but God did it suck. Sorry, I read the question too fast. I thought it asked ruin a day, not a date. Ha ha ha.
Well, I imagine your date wouldn't be going to plan either.
Can't have dates ruined if you never go to one. He invited me to Chuck E. Cheese on a date. He was 100% serious. He said they had good pizza, free soda refills, and it was a good way to remind ourselves why people should never have children. If he was joking, I would have known it, but he was totally serious.
If he tries to control me, or if he wants to have kids but thinks he can convince me, or try to make me pregnant against my will,
Huh, sounds like a lot for a first date.
when they shit on the desk, deal breaker for me. Hey, one man's deal breaker is another man's fetish.
Had a decent, if unremarkable dinner with a guy who spent most of the night going over his career path in detail and pondering aloud his next career move. Guy came back to my place. We sat on the couch. Roommate's overly friendly cat started doing that kneading thing on his lap.
Would it be too forward to ask you to do this instead, herder?
I walked him to the door. Wasn't attracted to him. Dinner was meh. The comment sealed the deal.
If we were at a restaurant, being rude to the waitstaff, making rude comments about other people there, talking about the dreaded ex, constantly looking at her phone, that would just tell me she's not interested, so why should I be? Looking at every single thing through a negative lens. It's okay to be positive sometimes.
He would not stop making date rape roofie jokes. After his third joke about sprinkling something in my drink, I told him one more joke like that and I'll be leaving. I picked up my beer and he said,
You're awfully trusting.
put the beer down and walked out. I did not get roofied that night. I did stay way too long on that date though.
Granted, it was a blind date, but a friend of mine went on a date with a girl. All she ever asked was how rich he was, and if she will get a house in her name if they marry.
When they play coy whenever the bill comes, I ain't there to be a sugar daddy biscuit. Find a freaking job. Edit. To clarify, this rule applies only to the first couple of dates for me. Afterwards, I don't mind not splitting the bill, taking turns paying, or even paying it fully myself as long as I know that the girl is interested in me and not there for the free food. Unfortunately for the sexist pigs, I'm a feminist and I believe in equality, which means 50-50 split of the bill.
If the guy is older than me and makes jokes about how much younger and inexperienced I am, even if the age gap is still appropriate, it just feels gross. If the guy acts as if I am a little child one moment and wants me to suck his weenie in the next.
Bringing a parent along.
Are you dating 14-year-olds?
No, 80-year-olds.
I went on a date about a year ago. It was going well until she started boasting about all the celebrities she'd slept with. I'm not a prude, but it's a weird thing to tell someone you've just met. Was kind of an instant turnoff, to be honest.
Having a girl ask how many times I cheated on my exes, then calling me a liar when I said I never cheated on my exes, then getting defensive and making a scene at a Outback. She left even though I drove us there, and I didn't leave because I wanted to eat my bloomin' onion and steak. To my surprise, she was waiting at my truck after the 30 minutes I took to finish my food. Talk about an awkward drive home. I have a pink bottle of pepper spray on my keys. He started playing with my keychains. I heard him say,
What's this?
Then I got sprayed! My date accidentally maced me. We did go out for a few months after that. Still, not the worst date I've ever been on, but it did ruin that date. After 20 minutes of first date, Guy asked me if I want to smoke weed with him in the park with families around and police walking around like every hour. When I said I'm not interested, he decided to smoke by his own. After that, he wasn't really talkative. Had to ask him questions all the time to keep up conversation. He also admitted he smokes weed like 3 times a day since 5 years and thought that adding meth to acne medicine will fast up treatment. He actually tried it, and it cost him a visit in the hospital, but he was kinda proud of it. When we talked on Tinder, he was normal and actually cute. I swear! That's about it for this video, folks. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite date story was, or if you had a bad date, drop me the story below. Until next time, this terrible tarot is out!
If you're gonna do it for the dactyl.